Welcome to the Tipsy Tennis podcast. I'm your host, Adam Borak, and today I am joined by co-host Kenji Michaud.
Hey.
We are going to watch the Nitto ATP Finals between world number 8. He's number 8, right?
I think so.
World number 8, Novak Djokovic. Oh, world number 7. We see it now on the screen. TV is right behind the camera, if anybody's wondering. Versus world number 3, Casper Ruud. Oh no, he's technically world number 4. Everybody's bumped up.
I think this is just
Seeding.
Yeah, seeding for how they got entered into the finals.
So this is something new on the channel. We are doing a reaction. Not exactly going along with it in real time, but I would like to introduce to you the first edition of the Tipsy Tennis. What should I name this?
He sounded so convincing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you should.
What would you call this? Tipsy Tennis viewing? Tipsy Tennis party? Tipsy Tennis. I mean, it's a viewing party. We're gonna create some rules. Tipsy Tennis drinking game.
Alright.
We are playing the Tipsy Tennis drinking game. It only takes place during the finals of the most biggest tournaments of the year, aka Slams and World Tour Finals. And we could throw in Olympics every 4 years. Why not? Rules of the game, Kenji.
Well, start off with what the commons, such as what are we doing?
So why don't you explain the game? Give context, because we've played this game many times. But for our viewers, this will be their first time.
So basically, as Adam said, we've done it a few times already, where we create a drinking game.
A few times. It's got to be like 3 years or 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah, but we only do it 4 major times a year. If you said we do it for the Grand Slams, which we only mostly have done it for.
We did Australian Open 1 year, putting on a record. Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
Well, we did. Yes.
Take it away, Kenji.
All right, so we write down some drinking rules based on, I would say, the common, such as like double faulting. You would either take a shot, or you could take a sip or a couple sips. Finishing the set, you finish your drink. Are there challenges in this one?
I don't think so.
There's no challenges.
No, everything is like, they do have lines people though. Yeah,
Challenges count.
Challenges
if there's
are on the
lines
table.
people, challenges count. So there's a call that's being challenged, you could guess if it's right or wrong. If you guess it right, you're in the clear. If you get it wrong, you have to take a drink. Right? So, Adam is.
Match is underway. Who's serving first?
Djokovic is serving first.
What's your prediction for the match?
I think Djokovic will take it. But in how many sets? I don't know. There's only 3. So either straight or maybe he'll lose the first one. He's had a pretty interesting record when he loses the first set, and he comes back to win the next 2, or if it's in Grand Slams, the next 3. But
This episode is brought to This is brought to you by White Claws. Not that we're sponsored. The White Claws just brought us together. Cheers
also,
to that.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts. Jesus, 4 sugars.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sugar.
I know.
I think it was 1.
Yeah, I needed some sugar today.
Who are you rooting for?
As much as I am wanting Ruud to win, I think Djokovic will take this one.
But who are you rooting for? You're rooting for Ruud?
I'm rooting for Ruud.
If you guys can't tell who I'm rooting for, I'm rooting for Stefanos, big bitch Tsitsipas. Just joking.
Oh, we missed a challenge.
Oh, we missed a challenge. Oh my God. All right, well,
Okay.
I got over here. We are writing down the rules in real time for the World Tour Finals 2022 versus number 3 ranked seeded Casper Ruud representing Norway against Novak Djokovic representing Serbia. Rule number 1, finish your drink at the end of the set.
Yep.
The set's finished, your drink is finished.
Many of Novak's matches this week, you and Paul have had most of them, just did one, but I don't recall him, as we see his team from the center there, led by Goran, wearing an undershirt until today.
Which also goes with something we saw in
A sip for every double fault or winner.
Double fault or winner. Okay.
Double fault or winner. If somebody gets a winner and ace. Ace
that's right.
counts.
Yes.
Counts is up or down the category. Both guys hitting pretty clean right from the start. Djokovic with the down the line. Boom. One thing about Djokovic, actually, let me write this down and then I'll say it.
Okay.
He has stolen so many titles. He's dressed like a catbird.
Warming up side by side, Ruud just running some sprints uphill. Djokovic trying to get his all-court movement going with some interesting movement on the treadmill. But yeah, the gloves, something different. You never know. Tough to read much into it, but it's just worth saying it's different. And we haven't seen that compression shirt underneath either.
It is worth noting that Novak has looked out of sorts physically.
Rule number 3.
We saw for the first time against Taylor Fritz.
Rule number 3.
Or I guess it was against Medvedev first. After a long point in the second set tiebreak, he sat down and started.
Well, the challenges.
Challenges,
yeah.
Yesterday,
what did we say? It's correct. You don't have to drink. Guess it wrong.
Says he's not sick.
Oh, finishing the drink. If challenge is called incorrectly.
Over the years, fight through whatever is troubling him on court and find a way to get his hands on trophies.
One thing I'll say about Djokovic, which is unique, what sets him apart from Nadal and Federer, is I think his game style doesn't surround a specific weapon. So, for example, Nadal tries to play his points around his forehand.
Yeah.
Federer similarly, and you could also put Federer's serve, within that category of, creating a game surrounding back around a weapon. Djokovic doesn't really have a weapon the same way these guys have a weapon, and yet he still is so successful. And the closest thing I would really say, he does everything perfectly. He does everything good. That was a great backhand from him. Which is actually, funny enough, the thing I was about to bring up is his backhand. He's not, you got a guy like Nadal, he can hit a winner from anywhere in the court with his forehand. And it's very tough to do that with your backhand, and so it doesn't have the same kind of weaponry a forehand may have. But I would call Djokovic's weapon his backhand, mostly because I would say he has the best two-handed backhand on tour. I would say, honestly, best two-handed backhand in history. That's got to be worth something, right? Nobody has a better backhand than this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, who would you say is comparable?
Opening right away on the Ruud serve.
I mean, there may not be. I mean, it's very. I think it's very consistent. I think that's the most important thing. It's you may have a stylish one-hander, I don't know, like Gasquet or Wawrinka, but you know it's on and off. Or team even, you know, it looks great, but it's like
Has anyone had more fun
It's
this week than Stefan Djokovic?
only hit like not often enough a great clean shot. And Djokovic produces, I think, many within a match or even a set. You know, so I think he probably has one of the best backhands out there.
You know what I would compare his backhand to? I would actually compare it to Federer's forehand, in the same sense that when you have Federer preparing, let's say he has a sitter and he's setting up for his forehand, you have no clue where he's going. He disguises his forehand so well, and it always keeps the opponent flat-footed,
Right.
guessing where he's gonna go. Same thing with Djokovic, because he does everything so well on that side. You would think that for the most part he'll go, let's say, cross court and
Right.
use it to develop the point, but like at any moment he could just step into it. He doesn't even need to step into it. He could just change direction
Yeah.
and hit the ball on a pinpoint, which is such a critical tool in his arsenal. Not forgetting about the serve return as well. You know, he's able to just place it. His return is,
Djokovic also probably has one of the best returns of serve.
Yeah. All right, let's finish up these rules. So 1, finish your drink at the end of the set.
Okay.
2, drink for any double fault, winner or ace. Finish your drink if you guess a challenge incorrectly. What else what about the commentators? What about things that the commentators say? Every time they bring up Federer and Nadal,
and still bring up Federer and Nadal. I think that's a classic to leave in there.
take a drink for any reference to
Well,
the Big Four.
The Big Four. Well,
Is it a
like,
Big Four though?
It's not really a Big Four anymore.
Cool, calm customer, Ruud.
Hello.
Says his even Scandinavian temper is one of his biggest assets, but also confesses that he is often feeling more emotions under the surface than he reveals.
I'll come up probably closer to 3. I'm doing a thing for Tipsy Tennis right now. Yeah. All right, sounds good. Thanks. Bye.
Great chances in his first service game.
Rule number 4. Okay, head to head. Djokovic leads 3-0. Last meeting was Rome semifinal. Djokovic won 6-4, 6-3. Then last year at the ATP Finals, Djokovic won 7-6, 6-2 in round robin stage. And then the first meeting that they had was in Rome in 2020, where Djokovic also won 7-5, 6-3. He's got the lead,
Yeah.
but it's nice. But at the end of the day, it's the tennis of the day speaks for itself rather than the record.
Right.
That's why we're here and playing it out. You know, we're not saying he's up 3-0, he can't win.
Yeah.
Rule number 4. Take a drink for every reference to the Big Four.
Sure.
And Novak ran away with it. I would not be surprised if that's a tactic to keep the boys, once they kind of get going here, and just still feeling each other out. But put it on the backhand of Casper. It's going to be hard for him to beat Novak.
What's your opinion on Casper Ruud as like his personality?
I don't, you know, he seems pretty chill. I mean, I don't know him well enough to really give him or explain his demeanor, you know. I don't know. But
I would say he's very proper, but definitely lacks some character. He's like a little bit too much. Like
Interesting.
interesting.
Default to the drop shot
Djokovic goes for the drop shot after a long rally against Ruud and fucks it up. Not really fucks it up. It was like
He just
missed.
25.
That's a lot.
25 ball rally.
Yeah, missed it by just an inch.
Yeah.
I think one of the most frustrating things in tennis is when you have control over a point, and let's say you hit like 5 good shots in a row, all of those 5 good shots are completely useless if you miss that 6th one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's very fine margins you play with in tennis. So and that's you do everything right for an entire point, and then just one little thing you mess up and it's gone.
Well, it's like players that are like counter punchers, or like, you know, they're forcing you to play that extra ball, and that's like that could really get into somebody's head quite easily, you know.
Yeah.
Just playing that extra ball, whether it being an overhead again, 2 overheads or something, you know. Like Andy Murray's a great example. He makes you play that, well, not just one extra ball, but probably many.
I feel like I do that a bit.
Yeah.
I just like you just get it in, even if it's an easy shot. I would say 1 out of maybe 15. I'll win the point.
Right.
Just purely off of getting that extra shot in, even though the point is pretty much lost. Which 1 out of 15, you know, I'm bumping up my stats by, let's say, like 7-8%.
Yeah.
Which makes a huge difference.
Right.
There's actually a crazy stat that Tony, he used to be the director of Kerry Leeds up in the Bronx, NYGTL, and he was the coach of Liza Huber. She's a multiple Grand Slam winner. They were married. And he was telling, I was working there for about 2 years, and he was telling these kids this very interesting stat, and it's the amount of points won throughout the entire career of Roger Federer. And the amount of points he won versus he lost is about 52%. And by winning just more than 50% of his points, it's allowed him to win 20 Grand Slams, to I don't feel like I need to go through his accomplishments for you to get the point that Ace. But it's like such fine margins. You think like if you're only winning 52% of your points, you're probably thinking this is total points, serve and return and everything. It doesn't sound that good. 52%.
Right.
But 52% is actually the best in the world. And so, you know, getting that extra shot in and bumping up your stats, you know, that extra 7%, any percent that you can add to it really is makes a big difference, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, rule number 5.
What else?
What's something that they do? These are like, they don't really do too much.
No, they don't.
Every time the camera points to either of their boxes. How about that?
It's a good one. I don't think there's many celebrities here, so.
No.
No.
Djokovic's kids are.
They were there. They showed his kids. Yeah. But yeah, boxes, I guess. Yeah.
Take a drink for a box shot. How's Djokovic? I think he's like 35.
Yeah, 35.
That's crazy. This guy has a few more years in him.
Shaking hands the winner twice. Can't count him out. It is troubling to see. Definitely something is awry there.
35.
35.
35 and a half.
On serve
To
so
be
far.
specific. He beat. Wow. Wow.
Ooh, nice shot.
That
Oh,
is a winner.
In distress.
distress.
Casper Ruud taking a long look to see, make sure he's okay.
Here's the thing about Djokovic.
On the way over to the sit-down, Novak made the same gesture towards his player box that he made during the Taylor Fritz match yesterday. He put his finger up to his head and it indicated that he was dizzy.
Here's the thing with Djokovic. They can say he's dizzy. They can say he's injured. They can say whatever they want. This guy possesses a superpower to just pull out wins at all means. Remember that one match it was against Federer, Wimbledon final, and it looked like he was like stumbling, things like that in the fourth set, and Federer won that fourth set with ease. And you're like, okay, Federer's going to clean it up on the fifth. And then Djokovic just knows how to do just enough to win. You know, you don't need to do more to win than just enough. Just enough is enough. And he knows how to do it. So if he's injured, if he's not feeling well, you know, and this is what creates a champion versus these other guys. You have a guy like Tsitsipas, Zverev.
What you don't want to do is
Who else would you say give kind of?
Looking over him, though.
I wouldn't say gives up, but like lets these things get to their head. Unlike, you know, these main guys.
Taking a rip down 40 love. I would imagine the one.
Would you say Medvedev is Medvedev has grit?
No, he definitely has. Yeah, he has grit for
There's
sure.
nothing on the horizon.
What about Rublev?
To conserve for
Rublev, I don't.
I haven't seen him play enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's had some adversity, but not like at the biggest stages.
No, I mean even here, like you know, he made it into the top 8, but
I could have sworn he was gonna beat Ruud.
right.
Rublev was playing so well this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, forehand side, you know, just that forehand in general is like a big weapon for him. But I think he made too many errors against Ruud. You know, he got frustrated. That was what was said. But
So maybe you do because he got frustrated. You throw him in that same.
yeah, I think it got into his head because they said he started spraying his forehand more, and he just wasn't keeping it in the court.
Mm-hmm.
So you could tell that it got to him and he was frustrated for sure.
Check this out. So this is Djokovic's road to the finals.
In the last couple matches, he didn't quite have all the energy he was.
Group stage. Tsitsipas 6-4, 7-6. One tiebreaker. Not the next group stage. Rublev 6-4, 6-1. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Against Medvedev 6-3,
He lost the tiebreaker.
6-7,
7-6. Yeah.
7-6. Two tiebreakers, and I'm assuming one break in that first set. Then against Fritz 7-6, 7-6. And then we'll see against Ruud.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there were all the matches this tournament were so close. I think this might be the closest tournament in the last, honestly, like 10-15 years from what I remember. All right.
Because he's ill and wants to shorten points.
Before we start breaking it down, how many tiebreakers do you think were played in this tournament leading up to the finals?
With everybody?
Everybody, yeah.
He stands in to return first serves and then goes deep to return seconds. It's a harder to serve on a second serve.
Tiebreakers.
Finding a way.
16?
You're gonna say 16 tiebreakers?
16 tiebreakers.
Well, how many matches were there? There's
Well, there's four per grouping, and they each play.
Three.
Three. Well, yeah,
3 times 2.
So 6.
6 matches per group, so that's 12 plus 2 semis. That's 14. 14 times 2.5, let's just say, for how many sets?
That's like 28.
28 plus another 14. About 40 sets have been played, give or take.
Okay.
How many of those do you think are tiebreakers? You said 16?
I said 16.
16? All right, we got Nadal Fritz, 7-6, 6-1. That's one. Ruud Felix, 7-6, 6-4. That's two. Keep track of this. Just like Talia.
So that's 2 so far.
Yep. Djokovic Tsitsipas, 6-4, 7-6. That's 3. Rublev Medvedev, 6-7, 6-3, 7-6.
So that's 2.
That's 2.
That's 5.
Ruud and Fritz, 6-3, 4-6, 7-6.
It's me, your dry
That's another
skin.
one.
I'm craving something
Nadal and
nourishing.
Felix,
Ceramides
6-3,
and
6-4.
They help
No
us fight the
tiebreaker.
mental barrier, so I can
The
walk
first match
close
that doesn't have a
without
tiebreaker.
each other's backs.
Tsitsipas and Medvedev,
Now, the number one
6-3,
dermatologist recommended
6-7, 7-6. So that's 2.
Change over.
Rublev Djokovic, 6-4, 6-1. That's none.
Again, his arms
Felix and Fritz.
clearly in distress.
Fritz won 7-6, 6-7, 6-2. So that's 2. Nadal and Ruud, 7-5, 7-5.
Early on the change of ends.
Tsitsipas Rublev, 3-6, 6-3, 6-2. So that's 0. Djokovic Medvedev, 6-3, 6-7, 7-6. So that's 2.
On the scoreboard as well.
Ruud beat Rublev 6-2, 6-4. And then Djokovic over Fritz 6-7-6, 7-6. So that's another 2. And then today. So how many is that?
It's 14.
14.
It's pretty close.
So that means out of, let's count how many sets real quick. Let's do another tally.
So this is tiebreakers.
A remarkable
Yeah.
physical force.
Fritz Nadal was 2 sets. Ruud Felix 2 sets. Djokovic Tsitsipas 2 sets. Rublev Medvedev 3 sets. Ruud Fritz 3 sets. Nadal Felix 2 sets. Tsitsipas Medvedev 3 sets. Rublev Djokovic 2 sets. Fritz Felix 3 sets. Nadal Ruud 2 sets. Rublev Tsitsipas 3 sets. Djokovic Medvedev 3 sets. Rublev 2 sets. Djokovic Fritz 2 sets. And then today, but we're not counting today.
34.
34. That's almost half. I'd say maybe like 40% of the matches, 40% of the sets are tiebreakers. That is extremely close. Let's compare it to another year. Give me a random year within the last 2 years, or 20 years. 20 years. Any of them.
20 years.
How do we know from what he's doing
2015.
that something is amiss?
All right, let's compare.
How often he's hitting the ball down the line on
Let's
his
compare
ground
it.
strokes compared to normal. Normally he changes
Are they gonna show
direction
the
more than anyone,
scoring?
about
I mean,
50-50 on both
breakdown.
sides.
Yep.
Today he's hitting, at least early numbers, quite a bit more down the line. And that is how you try and finish
No, this
points.
year.
Cross court is your rally ball, down the line's the finisher.
Matches. Boom. Ready? Yeah. So I'm gonna give you.
70% on both sides.
You're gonna keep track of 2 things: how many sets, and then also how many tiebreakers. We're doing both of those. So in 2015, Djokovic Nishikori, 2 sets, 6-1, 6-1.
So this is sets, right?
So 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers.
Okay.
Then Federer Burdick, 6-4, 6-2. 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Murray Ferrer, 6-4, 6-4. 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Nadal Wawrinka, 6-3, 6-2. 0 tiebreakers, 2 sets. Nishikori and Burdick, 3 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Nishikori won that one. Federer Djokovic, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers.
It was a good dig by Casper. Did what he needed to do. Dealt
Nadal Murray, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers.
Djokovic
Wawrinka Ferrer, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Federer Nishikori, 3 sets, 0 tiebreakers.
He was going to make it. He was applauding.
Djokovic beat Burdick, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Nadal Ferrer, 3 sets, 1 tiebreaker. Wawrinka Murray, 2 sets, 1 tiebreaker. Djokovic Nadal, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Federer Wawrinka, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers.
It's been a while since
And then
he's
the
won
finals,
one of these, though he has 5.
Djokovic Federer 2015. Guess who won?
2015
Real quick.
was the last one.
Oh, Djokovic won.
The commentator literally just said it.
Yeah.
The last one he won was 2015.
Yeah.
That's funny. Federer won it. Djokovic won it 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers.
Serve.
I mean,
Wow, you could already.
I don't think we really need to break that one
Yeah.
down to understand that that one was much more one-sided.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is the most competitive. This is the closest tournament. Because here's the thing: when you're playing these tiebreakers as well, it's no longer who's better, and it's just who's gonna execute better in that moment.
Mhm.
That's all it comes down to. It just comes down to who's gonna hit the shot that goes down the line, and is it gonna be in or is it gonna be out? And we're
Right.
literally playing. They're playing a game of like millimeters. At the at that point, even how high it is over the net and things like that.
Which Grand Slam out of this year, this calendar year, I wonder had the most tiebreakers played?
Which Grand Slam?
Yeah.
I mean,
if
I
you-
would say Wimbledon, just like
Yeah.
naturally.
Oh, serve and volley and.
Yeah, like
Well, I mean,
a lot less
if you
breaks
get
happen.
players like Isner, they're playing tiebreakers almost every single match. You know,
Yeah.
like at least 1 or 2, right? But
I mean, naturally, I would just say Wimbledon, just because of the
Wimbledon,
grass
yeah.
courts, less breaks happen.
mhm.
I would put French Open last on it, and then whichever.
Well,
is-
French Open, like probably, longer matches, longer rallies.
Let's pick another year because this one was like a little bit.
2015, yeah.
This one was a little bit too one-sided.
Mm.
You want to do like 2005?
Yeah, do something really early, like
Let's use Let's pick something.
Let's see the earlier ones. Maybe they did. So this was 2015.
Let's do 2005.
This is 2022.
First, let me ask
Which
you.
is this 2005?
First, guess what city it was in.
$2005 city.
Where were they playing the World Tour Finals in 2005?
And I wasn't even started watching tennis then, so I have no idea. Because I only started watching tennis in 2010.
Well, can you name any other cities besides right now Torino and London?
Have they done any? Are most of them in Europe though, or have they done some here in the U.S.?
It's around the world.
I
I think O2 Arena had it for like 10 years.
Yeah,
They
they
probably
had it
had
for a long time. They had it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also Barclays World Tour Final back
Right.
then.
Barclays. Now it's Nitto, and now I think it was
Neat though.
the ranking is like Emirates rankings.
Yeah,
Now
no.
it's Pepperstone.
Pepperstone.
Yeah. So.
What the fuck is
I have
Pepperstone?
no idea what Pepperstone is.
It's pretty bad marketing on their end. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. 05.
They probably paid so much money and we don't even know what it is.
05. I really don't know. I can't.
Can you name any
I
other
can't.
cities?
I mean.
That's fine. So I know, I can't tell you the order, but they did Shanghai at some point.
Okay.
They did New York at some point.
Uh-huh.
Madison Square Garden. Then they did Germany. I want to say Munich or Berlin. Berlin. They did Berlin. Yes,
Berlin, okay.
it was Berlin. I remember watching highlights. That was during Sampras, probably like late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Time they were in Berlin. Okay, Kenji? Your face is getting a little red.
Really?
The,
It's one.
what do they call it? The Asian flare or whatever?
The flare.
Okay, let's get down to it. So, 2005.
Where was
2005. It was in Shanghai.
it? Oh, okay.
Now, Bandian won it that year, beating Federer in the finals. Back then, the finals were 3 out of 5. Remember that?
Oh,
Back then, even
yeah.
the Masters 1000s, the finals
Yeah,
were 3 out of
that's
5
right.
sets.
Yeah.
So now Bandian beat Federer in a 5th set tiebreaker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Mariano Puerta, never heard of him, played in this tournament and was disqualified upon doping charges. Funny enough, who's Mariano Puerta? He is an Argentinian player from Cordoba, Argentina. Okay, let's break this down. Red group.
He missed that volley. Easy volley.
Oh, we haven't been watching this match at all.
He could have taken it as a backhand volley, but he took it as a forehand volley.
Djokovic has break point on Ruud.
Look at this. He could have done it as a backhand volley.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, just this, but he ran around for the forehand.
Which is, it's more normal to do backhand volleys when it's at your
Yeah,
chest.
this is the natural position that you get
Yeah.
instead of coming this way.
So much easier. Also, the spin works the other way.
Yeah.
Break point of the match for Novak.
Break point. Oh, that's when we forgot to do break.
Oh,
break
breaks.
Break point.
How are we doing breaks?
Serve, kick serve.
What happens if we break? Are we finishing our drink?
No,
No?
just
Take a drink?
take a drink. Yeah,
How about 3 drinks?
Valuable free throw.
3, fine.
3 drinks.
And what, 5 is a shot? Points won on first serve, Ruud 92%. Wow. Djokovic 85. Good shot.
All right, let's do this. All right, let's bang out this last tournament. Oh, here you go. Let's do this last one, and then we'll get to watching the match
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
Okay, so Federer beat Coria in 3 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Then Federer beat Ljubicic 3 sets, 1 tiebreaker, and he beat Nalbandian 3 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Coria lost to Federer. I'm not going to count that twice. Coria then lost to Ljubicic, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers, and lost to Nalbandian 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Ljubicic played Federer, not going to count it. Played Coria, not going to count it. Lost to Nalbandian, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers. And then Nalbandian, we already went off. with the
Showing
other
box.
ones. Showing the box. Cheers. Oh, no. And that was the red group. Then, so Puerta was disqualified.
For
So-
doping.
Yeah, for dope. Oh, so his alternate was Gonzalez. Fernando Gonzalez.
Fernando
He was-
Gonzalez. Oh,
He was the
man.
alternate for that tournament.
Oops.
That is a winner, ladies and gentlemen. It was an overhead. We're a winner.
Latin America. A lot of travel involved. Should be fun, I would think, for Casper Ruud to be in that element with
This is so weird. All right.
Did you change that clock?
Looking for his first
No.
win.
No. I was like, wait a minute, it's not 3 o'clock yet. I was
You
like,
get scared?
no, I was like,
Timor.
it's like, hold on. 150, okay.
All right. Agassi, Davydenko, 2 sets, 0 tiebreakers.
Davydenko.
Gonzalez, Gaudio, never heard of him. 3 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Puerta, 3 sets, 0 tiebreakers. Davydenko, Gaudio, 2 set 0 tiebreakers. Puerta 2 set 0 tiebreakers. Gaudio Puerta 2 set 0 tiebreakers. That's the group stage. Semifinals Federer Gaudio 6-0, 6-0. Jesus Christ.
Shit.
And then Nalbandian beat Davydenko 6-0, 7-5. Wow. And then, but get this. So there was only one tiebreaker played in group stages.
That's what I have.
And then Federer and Davydenko. Federer won the first 2 sets, 7-6, 7-6. Second set tiebreaker being 13-11.
Ooh.
Then Nalbandian took the next 2 sets, 6-2, 6-1.
Wow.
And then 5th set tiebreaker, Nalbandian 7-3. That was really tight. But you get what I'm saying though. The
So
tournament,
it's 37 sets played, and 4 of them were
yeah, versus like almost 40%.
Yeah, now it's 14 to 4, 39 or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 34
Yeah.
and 14.
This is, you know one thing though that I will mention, I think is worth mentioning, is the style of game that has evolved throughout the years. And so right now, the margins are finer than they've ever been because players are hitting the ball harder than ever before. And so, like, you get what I'm saying when there's just some shots are just unreturnable. Just, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how you prepare for it.
Right.
Some shots are just unreturnable because of the pure pace, and the technology in the game right now.
Yeah.
And so you do get a little bit more pace on it, and margins do become finer, so it's easier to hold. So it'll lead to more tiebreakers, more 3 sets, things like that. And that's just the nature of the game. I'm not saying one era is better than the other one.
Right.
But like relative, like one era relative to itself, and then this era relative to itself, it's much more closer. And now it's like really, back in the day when things were slower, it became more of a game of who's better, and the better player will most likely win. And now it's like the better player doesn't necessarily have to win, isn't going to win every time because of the finer margins. You have more variance in it, Everybody's kind of doing the same thing, but you only have control over so much,
Has the World Tour Finals always been played on a hard court?
It's a good question.
Or, well, whatever this material, if it's carpet or...
This is hard.
This is hard
Yeah,
court?
definitely
Okay.
hard.
Yeah, that's a question. I wonder if it's always been played on a hard court.
Surfaces. It has so back in the day, first from 1970 to 1989, it was called Masters Grand Prix. From 1990 to 1999, it was called ATP World Tour Championships.
Okay.
From 2000 to 2008, it was called Tennis Masters Cup. And 2009 to 2016, it was called ATP World Tour Finals. And then since 2017, it's just called ATP Finals.
Okay.
I like World Tour Finals.
Yeah.
World Tour Finals sounds so much better than ATP Finals. Because ATP Finals just sounds so generic. Like,
yeah.
like what tournament are you talking about?
Yeah, it's the finals.
It's
Or,
the finals.
Yeah, but the
What
World
finals?
Tour Finals,
Okay. Answer to your question. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, I also have a list of all the cities.
Oh, good. Okay.
The very first one played in nothing other than Tokyo, Japan. For only 1 year. Only 1 year. 1970, the inaugural.
The first one. Wow.
Inaugural. And that was played on indoor hard court.
Box.
Cheers. You don't have to take another one.
That's okay.
And a double fault.
Well, we don't. Was it
Because-
just hit?
It had to be.
Okay.
If they're gonna show the stat, it has to be double fault. Even this match, the score is 4-5 on serve first set. Let me unmute it.
Challenge? No challenge.
All right. So first is Tokyo, then indoor carpet from 2000.
Carpet.
Yeah, from 2000. From 1970 to 1973 for 4 years. There's indoor carpet.
A little more steady on his feet right now.
Played in Tokyo, Paris, Barcelona, and
A
Boston.
little bit more natural,
Oh,
not
okay.
forced.
Then for 1 year, it was in Melbourne.
Mm.
Played on outdoor grass. It was on grass for 1 year. Interestingly
Outdoor
enough.
grass too.
I mean, when do you ever play indoor grass?
Well, yeah. I mean, can they do indoor grass? I'm just making indoor grass court.
I mean, center court has a roof. Does that
Yeah.
count?
But they leave it open, right? If it's not
Right.
raining or whatever.
So actually, let's cover this right now. So in 1974,
Bracket he was playing with,
in
or
2003 and 4,
three games after the fact change.
those 3 years, it was played outdoors. Every other year, it was indoors.
Okay.
Which it kind of makes sense because it's done at the end of the year in December.
Yeah.
And so the times it was outdoors was in Australia when it's summer,
Right. Because it's in
Yep.
November is somewhere.
and then
yeah.
Houston, Texas in the U.S. for 2 years. Which I guess they can get away with it. In
Yeah,
Texas.
Texas is.
All right.
Yeah.
Then Stockholm, Houston.
Okay.
It was in Houston twice, but it was indoor carpet the other time.
Okay.
New York City,
Oh,
indoor carpet.
all right.
Frankfurt, Germany, indoor carpet. Then following that was Hanover, Germany, indoor hard. Lisbon, indoor hard. Sydney, indoor hard. Shanghai, indoor hard.
Pretty short return from
That's
the
interesting. So
North
2002, it was Shanghai,
serve.
indoor hard. Then it went 2002, Shanghai, indoor hard. 2003 and 4, Houston, outdoor hard. Then 2005 comes back to Shanghai for indoor carpet. So they went from indoor hard to indoor carpet.
That's a nice shot.
Then they go back
It has impressed a lot.
to indoor hard.
Okay.
So when indoor hard in Shanghai,
Take it down the line.
Texas outdoors,
There's been a standout shot for him.
Shanghai again indoor carpet, and then they go back to indoor hard again in Shanghai. Then they went to London, where it's indoor hard, and then now they're in
Looks so easy.
Torino.
Really didn't have much of it in his arsenal.
E
but this week he
Torino.
sure has.
Che cazzo fai?
Especially impressive given how fast this goal is too.
Winner.
Winner.
Box.
Those guys have
Box.
done a lot of work to
Box.
get
I'm telling you, the box.
playable.
The box is a big thing.
Man, I wish we were doing this live.
Yeah.
Whoa. Tsonga almost won it in 2011. He beat Federer, or he lost to Federer in the finals, but it went 3 sets. So he's 1 set away from winning it.
Really,
That's also crazy. Tsonga was also 2 sets away from winning a Grand Slam.
I know.
I remember. I think it had to be 2009?
Oh, 9.
09, Tsonga Australian Open final against Djokovic. Also, Begdatis was also won a set Australian Open finals against Djokovic. That's another guy who almost won a Grand Slam.
no breaks. In fact, no break points. for
No
him.
breaks. 6-5 in the first.
You think tiebreaker first set?
Grand
Man,
Slam.
I'll be if I at least get the number of tiebreakers played right, that would be pretty. It's at 14, so
You said 16.
I said 16. Yeah, so if they played 2 tiebreakers, I would have made my
No. It's 2008.
2008.
Tsonga played.
okay.
Tsonga. It was a good match. So Tsonga won the first set, lost the next 2, and then the 4th set Djokovic won and finished it. But it was a tiebreaker as well. So he never stopped giving up a fight.
Yeah.
Did he have Tsonga's, he used to have a one-handed backhand, right? I'm not.
Tsonga
He does it
does?
once in a while.
He
when he's
kind
on
of
the
like
run.
on the run. He just.
But if I'm
flicks
not
it.
mistaken, he had a straight up one-hander really early in his
Really?
career, if I remember
I don't
correctly.
remember that.
I don't know if. So, 6-5. What's your? We haven't been watching the match at all. We've been focusing, trying to break down these stats.
Yeah. I think he'll go to a tiebreaker, but who will win it? I'm not sure. Maybe Ruud.
A little break. I stopped for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then I met up with somebody and we got another one. And the only one they had in the store was the Infinity one.
Oh,
Like the fat
the
one.
fat one, yeah.
And so I had it for like a solid almost 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of, I don't know.
Whoa. That was a deep return. And short angle. Return. Box. Kids.
That box. Ruud hits first serve and goes out. Do you know what Arctic is? Like, Ruud is sponsored like crazy by Arctic.
I think that's like a. It's like a not. It's a clothing company. I'm pretty sure, but like
Arctic?
it's like winter jackets, like hiking, like.
Arctic Group offers investment banking services, ship and offshore brokerage, asset management, and insurance brokerage. So he's sponsored by a bank. They probably got the money to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, nice winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Box. I feel like they do like a winner, a great shot, and then they show the box. You know what I mean? It's like it's a
2-for-1
it's
special.
yeah. You don't put down your drink because you're gonna see the box after a shot like that.
You know what I find really interesting about people who play Djokovic? If I were to play Djokovic, do you know what my strategy would be?
What would be your strategy to play against Djokovic?
It would be the same strategy Medvedev employed to beat him in U.S. Open Finals. Do you remember what that was? That's a good point. Wow.
Oh, caught the line.
Did it? It did. Wow.
Did catch the line.
I'm telling you, man, this is the game of millimeters. It's a winner.
What was the tactic? Can't remember.
That's some really nice footwork from Novak.
Medvedev won U.S. Open Finals by only going down the line.
Oh.
Or not down the line, down the middle.
Down, yeah.
Down the middle.
Mm.
He did not give Djokovic an opportunity to run around, loosen up, and start playing his game. Because he was so nervous, because that was the match that he was going for the Golden Slam.
That's right,
and,
yeah.
And everything with it, 21 Grand Slams.
Challenge.
Oh shit, I
In
was
or
being.
out?
I'm gonna say it's in. Just based on Djokovic's, he's already walking to the other side. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it was in.
You think in?
Yeah. If you get it wrong, we gotta finish
I don't
it.
have that much
I don't-
left,
yeah,
so I don't
neither
mind.
do I.
I don't mind if I lose this
Yeah.
one. And drum roll.
I'll tell you, 3 millimeters. They're waiting for a proper replay.
It was in by 3 millimeters.
Oh, okay, here we go.
It was out.
Oh no!
By 3 millimeters. Oh, drink up. Let's put what those are. Let's keep it tally. Fun fact, ladies and gentlemen. Kenji is teaching tennis later. Oh shit!
Break point.
Ball hits off the tape, rolls in. That sounds like a winner as well. I wasn't paying attention. You want strawberry? Or
What's the next one?
the next one is a blackberry, and the last one is pineapple.
Oh, pineapple sucks.
I'll take the pineapple.
Okay.
Which one?
Strawberry first.
Strawberry's pretty good.
Yeah, I actually like strawberry. Blackberry's not bad.
They're all the same to me. Like,
But pineapple, there's one called passion fruit. It's the worst. I think passion fruit is the worst.
I love passion fruit otherwise.
Yeah. Alright, this is a crucial.
Set point. Oh.
And if they finish the set, we gotta finish our drink.
Oh, shit. This
So
is a
I
big
hope
point.
Ruud hangs
Oh.
in there.
We gotta chug a whole one.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
No! Shit!
Djokovic!
Box and
And the box.
And the box. No!
Djokovic taking the first set, 7-5. Center court, Torino.
Oh my God!
All right, I will grant you a pass just one time
I'll do half and half.
because you have to go to work
I
later.
have to go to work later. I'm gonna be feeding balls like.
Guys, this is what Tipsy Tennis is about.
Yeah, and listen, I don't mind it. I'm only there to feed balls, and you know.
Well, I don't have anywhere to be,
So you need to.
so this one is
I'll
for.
do a few sips with you.
Cheers.
It's actually light on its feet and smooth as velvet like you when you played ball. Sure, kid.
This isn't that bad.
Really? I don't like pineapple for some reason.
Honestly, kind of gives like a how do I put it? The taste, it's like kind of refreshing. The taste is like on the front of the mouth. You know what I mean? Where you eat some things and the taste is in the back of the mouth. This is like a little bit more kind of crispier rather than kind of sitting a little bit more. That's my impression. Speaking of DraftKings, because that's the commercial one I'm going on right now. I do not gamble, but I was checking out the odds, and Djokovic was about a minus 400 favorite. I had $50 free play, and I put $50 on Casper Ruud to win, which was I would get like a 150 from it.
Okay.
He was like a minus 300, or plus 300 and some change. But my favorite stat or my favorite line was Casper Ruud to win a set was even.
Okay.
That was even money. We're looking at our live odds to win the match. Casper Ruud plus 750, Djokovic minus 1600. And for those of you who are uninitiated, what that means is in order to win $100, you need to put down 1600 on Djokovic. And for Ruud, since he's plus 750, that means that if you put down $100, you get 750 from it. So that's where the plus and minus comes from. Look at the scoreboard. You saw that?
Yeah, it just like glitched in the middle there.
It'll look kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just like one big zero instead of 0-0 for each. Wow, second set. I need to finish this right now. All right, let's go. What do you think about Djokovic's kit? What do you think about their kits?
What do you mean, like ace? Just do it as one. You don't have to open a second one for it.
30 and 2.
Their kits, as in like their outfits. Djokovic with all green.
I mean, it's not a bad color scheme, but
I wouldn't call it a color scheme, more of just
neutral
one color.
Well, he has that like little white.
Yeah, green and white.
Yeah.
Ruud with the Yannick's always comes up with some interesting patterns. Remember Wawrinka and those French Open shorts? People were trashing on him for like years to come.
Yeah, but he won in those shorts. I think he framed those shorts. It's like people hated me, but I won a French Open title in these shorts.
I have one of Wawrinka's broken rackets from the U.S. Open.
I know. Yeah, you showed me it.
Actually, I don't know where it is.
It was hanging up somewhere.
It was hanging somewhere.
It was hanging on the stairwell.
Yeah, actually, let me check there.
I thought it was up there. Oh. Or is it downstairs in the basement? Oh, winner was played, by the way.
Nifty. Looking a lot more like himself out there, giving him some positive affirmation after that ace. If he just joined us, he looked a little out of sorts at the onset of the match physically, but hung in there and got the job done late. Put that first set away.
All right, holds to open set 2. We'll show our first set highlight. These are the last 3 points of the set.
Yeah, Ruud serving 5-6, 30-15. Djokovic is going to unload on a forehand down the line. And now he's within 2 points of striking distance, and this is where he locks it down, doesn't he? Ripping the forehand, unforced error count. It's going to stay right where it is. Gives a little help with the net. Ruud not able to adjust to that one in on set point. It was just a backhand contest here. Is Ruud going to be able to stay in there with the backhands against Novak? The answer was no. And part of the story is that Djokovic has dominated the baseline positioning.
Nice.
Half of Casper's shots have come from over 6 feet deep in the court. You cannot damage a normal tennis player on a superhuman defender like Djokovic.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a framed racket from Stanislav Wawrinka. Stanislav is his full name. I think he changed it to just Stan.
Just stand.
It took a little bit of legal stuff, but this is his racket. I will do a review on his racket a little bit later. But
indoor final a few weekends ago from a set down was by being a bully on the court and forcing his way to dominate. And coming up with 20 winners in the final set.
the story behind this racket, in case Ace, you can see it says Stan in the neck, and it was strung on a Wednesday. 27 kilograms by 25 kilograms, and you can see he's got some lead tape.
So that means, from my lens, he needs more forehands, and so far Ruud is not getting enough. Barely over half of his shots.
So Wawrinka broke this racket playing against Djokovic. Funny enough, I want to say it was quarters U.S. Open 2015 or 2016. Wawrinka ended up retiring from that match. And then this was actually this is the Grand Slam right before Wawrinka and Djokovic had that epic 5-7. Remember that one?
Was it 2015 though? Because I was there 2015.
Yeah, we watched that one live, right?
No,
we didn't.
I went to the U.S. Open. I went to the U.S. Open in 2015.
And to be clear,
My brother was ball boying for that match. I don't know. I just remember.
2015, I'm pretty sure was.
and that strategy would work even on this court.
I think it was. Yeah, it was because Federer made it to the final in 2015. And he lost to Djokovic in the U.S. Open Finals.
So I think he's getting more on top of the baseline control.
Something like that. So
But
Wawrinka.
Wawrinka played Federer in the semifinals, and Djokovic played Cilic.
So it had to be 16.
When he's in a defensive
Probably
mood.
16, yeah.
One of those years. We can find out. We just need to find out which U.S. Open Wawrinka withdrew from. Also, we can look up their match because I remember specifically it was during that where he smashed it on the floor and then just like finishes it over his knee.
Yeah.
And then when the match finished, when he retired, he looks to my brother. He was a ball boy at the time. Looks to my brother. He's like, "Hey, do you want this?" And he's standing there like, "Yes, please." and then hands him the racket. Really cool stuff. I'll do a review on it a little bit later. I've got another racket over here. It is a Head Prestige Pro. And what you can see
Winner.
over here, there is a number. And what this number means is B131901. If you email head asking for that racket number specifications, because this is a customized racket, they will send it to you. And this is the same specs. Jesus Christ, these winners just keep on coming in. So the with this number, if you email head, they will give you the specs on the racket, and these specs are done to Murray's specifications on his racket. So you guys may notice Murray plays with a radical, but it has a grommet going all around the edge. No surprise, in reality, it's a Head Prestige, but with a paint job. And this is a normal thing for many of the pros to just paint their rackets, whatever they need from their sponsors. But they, at the end of the day, they get to choose whatever racket they want to play with, because they're the ones who are the professionals. They're the ones who are playing. They get to choose a racket. So this one is a Murray racket. He didn't play with it. This is just a pro stock racket that I got from a tennis client of mine. I got 2 of these, cool enough, for the price of 5 hitting hours. Which 5 hours of, you want to break it down per hour? Yeah, I got a little bit gypped, but you got to also put it into perspective. This is just time, instead of counting it by how much I get paid per hour for hitting versus just 5 hours hit with the guy. We have a good time, chit chat, whatever. It's cool.
Third set in this final, as most tennis crowds do,
Should I put this out today? Should I spend the rest of the day editing it?
It's up to you.
Because we're a little bit over an hour in, and so at the bare minimum, it's going to take me that much time to go through it.
Yeah.
Even if I just want to put it in raw,
Right.
which I probably won't. Maybe I will. It's been pretty action packed. We've been talking I've been talking the whole time.
Yeah, you have. you're the host.
The green does it, huh? Takes it to another level.
I'm waiting for Pokey to show up in the player box.
The commentators even mentioned the box.
Yeah.
Have you been listening to commentating? I'm sure they mentioned Rafa and Nadal.
Yeah, I've probably missed it. I'm sure
Rafa
they
and
did.
Nadal.
Yeah.
They mentioned Rafa and Federer, not Rafa and Nadal. Those are the same person, if you guys didn't realize. These white claws are getting to me.
Nadal and Rafa are the same person.
Scores 1-2, second set, 15-all.
More dominance, court position-wise, and
I I don't want to take any credit away from Ruud because he's been playing some phenomenal tennis over the last, I would say, like 2 years.
Right.
I called this out like years ago that Ruud is going to be huge. And just to prove it, I have a photo with him at the US Open back in 2018, 4 years ago. I got a photo with him because I knew he was going to be big. I saw him, he used to have a bigger forehand, I'm not going to lie. 1540 on Ruud's serve. 1-2. Is that a break I smell? Or is it the smell of alcohol? Porque no los dos.
Box.
The fucking box.
I feel like they've shown more of Djokovic's box than Ruud's box.
Yeah. Big moment here. Ruud hasn't had a single break point this entire match. We really haven't been watching this match.
Yeah.
Down the line, backhand from Djokovic. Now Ruud is on defense. Exactly what I was saying. Down the line forehand. And that is a break. According to this, that is 3 drinks, sir.
3. I thought you were giving me a break on this one.
I'll give you 1. That's fair.
1 break.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit surprised that you were willing to do this right before you were gonna start teaching tennis. It's a dope group, you're feeding.
I'm feeding. Yeah,
What is he wearing? Wait, what? Did you see that?
No. Was he wearing an under?
Yeah, Djokovic is wearing this like shoulder sleeve. Or like it's like the shirt, but it's only here and only around the shoulder. I think maybe for like posture.
Or
Makes sense.
yeah.
You know, to kind of like bring everything back. So it's you know, his shoulders are more upright.
Yeah.
Like that is slouching.
But that is a break for Novak Djokovic.
So the bone could heal. I know that's not what that's for, but he's on the cutting edge of every holistic aspect of his life.
One thing that I was thinking about.
Oh, it looks like a tennis ball.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're going with.
He had the same thing during the US Open. It was the same shirt. Or like same style, different colors. Oh my god. That's what I'm telling you. Like he changed
just the direction.
The same way Federer puts you on your back, on your heels on his forehand, Djokovic has the exact same effect on his backhand. You just have he turns his shoulders, he disguises it, and you have no clue where it's gonna go. Like that is, it's not a wet, like anybody can hit backhands off of their winners off of their backhands. And backhands just don't have the same caliber forehands do, but it really is, you know, a weapon that is undervalued, underestimated of how much of a weapon it is. Nobody's denying that it's amazing, but to go as far as to say it's a weapon. Okay, well now he just whiffed it by like 10 feet.
That was just a rare error from Novak. That second serve, only 82 miles an hour. That is a real opportunity for Casper to start to dictate play when he sees second serves. I've been surprised how meekly he's returned on the second returns today. Normally he's so explosive.
An hour and 10 minutes.
And if he ever needed it, today's the day. I mean, he's got to unload. He's got to go back here. He's got to do everything he can to get a first ball forehand on this second serve and unleash the beast.
Unleash the beast. What a line from Jim Courier. That's a slow.
Not good enough.
Yeah, what I've really noticed, Ruud is not being aggressive at all. I'm curious. Let's pull up some live stats. So we're 3-1 into the second set.
Winner.
Another winner. Jesus Christ. All right, stats time, because I fucking love stats. I am a statistical fiend.
Box.
Ruud's operating in lockdown.
You don't have to do the boxes anymore.
Ruud has
So,
yet to make
aces.
unforced error in
Ruud,
this set.
3,
0
Djokovic,
errors.
8.
And he's got
Double
very
faults.
little to show for on the
It says here 1-0-0,
Watch over you.
but I'm pretty sure Ruud has 1.
Ruud has 1, yeah.
So take all of these stats with a grain of salt,
Okay.
apparently. First serves in, 67 to 71.
He has played
Another winner from Djokovic.
mistake-free tennis in this set, and he is getting
Box.
worked. That's how locked Djokovic is. All 7 of those unforced.
Oh, God.
Winners, Djokovic 20,
Unforced errors 12.
12. Ruud, winners 11, unforced errors 7. Do my stats agree? They don't have winners on this stats page. Hold on. Let me find a better one.
Go to the ATP
Yeah.
winner.
Another winner?
Another winner.
Djokovic for the last 20 minutes, and he's 2 games away.
He is 2 games away.
The game's not over yet.
Go to the menu page and you can just look up scores.
But scores is like past. I need
Oh.
live. I'm gonna go to the ATP website. Let's try that. I want to view this. They really not have. Did you hear that the Challenger Tour is okay, you have it. Do you?
Stats.
Stats. All right, break it down.
Aces 8, 3 for Ruud. Yeah, 1 double fault for Ruud, none for Djokovic. First serve percentage 64% for Ruud, 72% for Djokovic. What do you want?
Like, what about points won? Points won on the serve.
Points stats. Total service points won. 84% for Djokovic, 64 for Ruud.
Wait, slow down. Service points won. Is his first and second serve?
It doesn't
So,
specify. So probably both.
84% versus 64%.
Yeah.
That is outstandingly in Djokovic's favor.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
Finishing
Djokovic
strong.
Djokovic will tie Federer for most.
That is a remarkable difference in the points won on their serve. 84% versus 64.
Yeah.
That's just honestly that's just dominance. If that's not dominance, I don't know what is. All right, go on.
Total return points won. 34% for Djokovic, 16% for Ruud.
Wow. Okay.
And total points won. 58% for Djokovic, 42% for Ruud.
What are some of the other stats?
How
How many winners to unforced errors for each person? Does it say?
This one,
It's still running Emirates as well.
I know. I guess this one doesn't say.
Like every time Ruud is. Oh, okay. Djokovic with a miss hit, and then grabs his balls. Oh, what? Why'd the guy throw the ball into the back end of the court? Lavazza, the official coffee of ATP Finals.
There's also the U.S. Open too. That's a lot.
I think I have some Lavazza here at home. Oh, finally serve and volley from Ruud.
Oh,
Hits the overhead, comes back in, hits a drop shot. Djokovic gets there and wins the point. Like what?
a pretty sweet overhead.
He's connected.
I loved it.
What is Ruud gonna do? What is Ruud gonna do to beat him? It looked promising. Definitely looked promising.
It doesn't say the winners to unforced errors. I don't know why. It used to though. They don't have like a live scoring thing here.
Not on the ATP website.
No, that's weird.
I'll find another one.
40-15.
Let's try Eurosport. Live stats.
He was called in by the lines person.
Djokovic is challenging the call.
I was not watching.
That was
I'm gonna look at the demeanor of them and then make my decision. Out. Ladies and gentlemen, it was in.
Overturn a call because
Overturn.
umpires
You
are
hear
a
that?
little too passive with Hawkeye as a parachute.
She's in that chair for a reason today.
Ace.
And an ace.
So Ruud holds, keeps it at one break margin. This is not in the bad.
Oh man, we are
You pointed out how clean.
we are in it today.
It's
4-2.
in a commercial.
Second set. Djokovic open break.
Since what? Madrid?
Yeah, since Madrid.
Before Madrid, he was struggling to get physically where he
I
needed
love how
to be.
I go to
Lost that
stats and they
final
just
set
give me their
to
head-to-head
Ruud.
record.
Andre Rublev, 6 loves,
Great.
had nothing left
cool.
in the tank. Madrid, Alcaraz
Owen
toughed it
from
out.
Tennis Nation says
He was
Djokovic
7-4
is
on
in
the
God
season
mode.
at that point.
This is over, bearing a sudden meteor shower or something.
He's won
It's
34
It's,
matches and lost
inspiring
3
quote.
since then.
It's early May.
I think that was an
One of
ace.
the
but
matches
could be
is counted, but it
Regardless,
wasn't ranking points. It
I
was
need to use
Felix
little boys room.
Auger-Aliassime beating him at Labour Cup. Just 2 ATP Tour points counting matches. He lost instead.
All right, you missed the winner.
When you factor in that he's going to start the year 1,000 points behind Alcaraz for number 1. Don't forget that the Grand Slam he won this year didn't give him any points.
The government in Australia has overturned its own ban on keeping Djokovic out of the country for the next 3 years as a result of his deportation earlier this year. So he will be in Australia, looking to add to his remarkable
Yo,
tally.
fuck this box.
If the US government, the TSA will change the border controls here in time for him to
I can't,
play
man.
in Miami and
Just
Indian
can't.
Wells, because as of now, unvaccinated foreigners are not allowed into the United States.
Yeah, no
That's why he
unvaccinated
missed the
foreigners.
U.S. summer season.
Missed 4 Masters 1000s as a result of his decision and the Australian Open. And he's still going to finish 5.
So they had the stat that Djokovic in the first set won his first serve points, won 86%. Second set, 100%.
Every single first serve he gets in, he wins.
Yeah.
Covering Casper's backhand effectively. Djokovic gets
Yeah, I think
away from
4-2, 15-40, match is over.
18, 16, 5-11. Wow.
There's a link.
It's in my pocket.
I'm definitely gonna edit this.
Cut out the vaping session.
He gets it.
All right.
Also,
I didn't. Another fucking box shot.
We should have counted.
That alone will get you fucked up.
Yeah, we should have tallied how many times the box was shown because it's been a lot. At least we aren't doing shots. That's a good thing because can you imagine box shots?
I'm not gonna lie. If you weren't going to work later,
Yeah,
I would have brought out the bottle of whiskey. 5-2, one game away. I think it's one thing I wanted to bring up a little bit earlier. No disrespect to Alcaraz, but he should not be world number one. That is the youngest world number one is due to extenuating circumstances. If Djokovic was playing his normal schedule, he would be number one by a landslide.
Yeah.
By a fucking
Well, they said that
landslide.
he missed 4 Masters 1000 titles because of the vaccination.
That's 4,000 points potentially.
Yeah.
Obviously, and these are also what you need to take into account. He's number 7 in the world or number 8 in the world, and he was so far ahead of everybody that these are including the points lost by not defending his things.
Yeah.
And he's still in the top 10. If that's not dominance, I don't know what is. This guy is the best player in the world right now. And, the world number one ranking, year end is nice. But in this scenario, again, I don't want to take credit away from Alcaraz because he's been playing phenomenal tennis and he is the next generation of players.
Right.
Once, Nadal, Djokovic retire, not too much Nadal anymore, but mostly Djokovic because he is still obviously still a force to be reckoned with. He's playing a tournament where it's the top 8 players in the world and he's just dominating them.
Yeah.
If you put any other player in that position, they're gonna lose. At least this
Ace.
Djokovic deserves the number 1 spot for sure, and it's also it's one of those things where it's number 1 in the world doesn't equate to being the best in the world.
Yeah, that's true. That's 2 different things.
Two different things. One is qualitative and the other one is quantitative. However, you could still argue quantitatively that Djokovic is number 1, just off of his stats. The only thing holding him back is the fact that he hasn't played a lot of the tournaments.
Right.
What a year it's been for Casper Ruud. 51 wins. Fantastic level of play from him. Showed
All right.
Diversity.
I have a question for you.
His prowess on the hard courts as well.
You get to pick one player
Success on clay.
during one era, any era. It has to be played in that era. So, if you had to pick one player during one era to play a match, 3 out of 5 sets.
He's gonna finish. We need to win this one to get
To
play against.
number 2.
By the way, that was a winner.
Yeah, I know. That's why I took. That's why I took this for the win.
Okay, so here's the question.
3 titles.
You have to pick one player
Finals, he is
during one era, and they have to play a 3 out of 5 set match. And if they lose, you die. Who are you putting your life on to win this match for you? One player, one era.
Don't throw it back. Keep it. So your life is dependent on this player during
On this one match. If you had to put your life on one match and having one player win,
Likely, the last serve Casper Ruud will hit this year.
But who are they playing against? Anybody?
Anybody.
Break point against Novak, so you're not wrong.
Likely.
the best possible era, the best possible player during their prime, essentially, because you wouldn't pick somebody when they're not in their prime to win a match for you.
In their prime, Pete Sampras.
In their prime, you would pick Pete Sampras. Really? What year? Or like rank, like give me like a range of like 1 or 2 years. You know what I mean?
Pete Sampras. When was he most dominant? '90s.
Gotta narrow it down.
95, 96.
95, 96 Sampras.
Yeah.
Let's look up his record during that time.
Oh, God.
Sampras record 1995 or 6 or both. We'll do both.
We'll do both, yeah.
So this is actually we could probably find it per year.
Yeah.
So in 1995, he got to the finals of Australian Open, first round of French Open, which the best he ever did at French Open was quarterfinals, which kind of makes sense. And then he won Wimbledon and US Open. So one final, 2 wins, and a first round exit. 1995.
Okay.
Or would you rather take him in 1996, third round Australian Open, semi-final? Oh, sorry, I made a mistake before. He went from another winner. He went from 3 quarters in a row at French Open
To a first
round loss.
To then a semi.
To then a semifinal. So 1996, he has a third round at Australian, semifinal at French, quarterfinal at Wimbledon. Quarterfinal. We're gonna investigate this a little bit, and then winner at US Open. So when he lost first round,
Rooster.
no, that was the final.
Defeated Michael Chang. Ooh.
And at this time, Pete Sampras was seeded second in French Open. So we go all the way to the bottom. He lost to Gilbert Schaller from Austria in 5 sets, losing 6-4 in the 5th and two tiebreakers. Wow. Random ass dude. Semi-final at French Open. He lost to Yevgeny Kafelnikov. You know him?
No.
You never heard of Kafelnikov?
No.
He was a pretty big player in the 90s. He lost in 3 sets. 7-6, 6-0, 6-2. And then Kafelnikov ended up winning the tournament that year, beating Michael Stich 7-6, 7-5, 7-6, 3 sets, 2 tiebreakers. Very close match though. 5-3, 30 all. Djokovic versus Ruud. Djokovic's serve. Match point. 5-3.
Box.
40-30. That was a shot of the box.
Last fitness check for Djokovic.
What was that rally? Must have been 36 shot rally.
Wow. 36. That's definitely the longest of the match.
Yeah, it was 25 before it was the longest.
Throws in the drop shot.
Throws in the drop shot, exactly what we were commenting before after that long ass rally.
Yeah. Throws in the drop shot. Yeah. All right, what do you think? Is he going to serve it with an ace?
No.
No.
I think match point is going to go out wide. Out
To
wide.
the backhand.
Ruud is going to hit it down the line. Djokovic is going to hit a forehand cross court. And then either finish the point or set up for the next point. I think it's going to be a short rally. That's my prediction on this point.
Let's see.
Down the line ace. Couldn't have been more wrong.
I said ace.
Well, that is an ace and the end of the set and the end of the match.
Well, certainly the most difficult year
To Djokovic.
in Djokovic's career with everything that's gone on. Ends with perfection. 5 straight wins over top 10 players. And another crown here
Oh, man.
So he ties it with Federer for 6.
to bring with it into 2023.
Well,
And it wasn't easy.
ladies and gentlemen,
Out of sorts all the time, but
that concludes.
there's his son,
Stefan.
Also,
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this. That concludes this episode of the Tipsy Tennis Podcast. We're tipsy, we watched tennis, we broke down some stats, we enjoyed doing it, hopefully, and you enjoyed watching it.
Yes.
Some quality entertainment.
these guys were on the outside. They were all vaccinated, so they were on the outside.
Everybody is vaccinated on the Djokovic team.
Compete in Australia. They all glumly got on the plane and went home. And it was just a real struggle.
Is it surprising that he won?
To maintain
No, I had a feeling he was going to win.
in spite of all the doubts over where he would be able to compete. But once he got back into gear, especially
I have a question for you.
almost
So,
unstoppable.
the way this
He does not finish with the year-end number 1.
the way this tournament is formatted,
I have a feeling, Jim, if he pulled the locker room,
they play 3 matches in group stages.
this guy'd get a lot of
If you win the tournament without dropping a match, you get 1,500 points. So that's more than 1,000, but it's less than a Grand Slam. Which means, and the way that's broken down is each match in group stages is worth 250 points.
This guy is
It's the same as winning an entire 250, but in one match.
number 3 in the world.
I would say probably same thing for the semis,
As well.
and then 500 points for winning the finals,
Australia, the man to beat.
considering all the other points that you're putting into
He's only
it.
won it 9 times.
Do you think it's fair?
So, the big trophy case count, that's
Do you think it's fair that the top 8 players have a opportunity to win 250 points per match, giving them a head start on the next season, so to speak?
Not included in this chart, but
You know, giving them an advantage, giving them a
what's it gonna look like at the end when these guys
a head start?
hang 'em up? I don't
Do you think that's fair for the rest of the tour to take the top 8 players? And I'm not saying it's gifting them these points, because at the end of the day, these are the top 8 players in the world, and each match is essentially a final in any of these like smaller tournaments. Do you think it's fair that these players have that opportunity versus over the rest of the tour?
5 top 10 opponents in his own body to lift this trophy upcoming.
I mean, it is. I mean, you end up. Well, it could be 5 matches or it could be 3 that you're playing for, right? Like, you're playing potential three extra matches in the group stage. But I mean, I think it's an advantage. Is it fair? Probably not. But I mean, it's the top 8. I mean, what can you say? You know,
Every match is super tough.
yeah, it's not easy. You know, definitely not easy. It's still the top 8 players. You're playing, you know, great tennis, but sorry.
One way that I view, so I had somebody like ask me like, oh, do you think it's fair? One thing that I did consider when it comes to this type of tournament where only the top 8 people qualify, if you look at like a Grand Slam, not everybody qualifies for that tournament.
Right.
You need to be top either like 100 to get into the draw, and then otherwise qualify to get into it and get that opportunity to play for a tournament that has so many points. But the other thing that I was also considering when they host a tournament like this with the top 8 players, I think of it as a tournament that it does decide who is going to be year-end number 1. And so they're looking through the stats on this. If Nadal won this tournament, he would be number 1. If Tsitsipas won this tournament without dropping a match, he would be number 1.
Okay.
And so what that basically means is this is a tournament that is fighting for the year-end number 1 spot. We are essentially we're finishing an era where we're finishing an era of just complete and utter dominance from Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer, and so it's difficult to view it in a fair way because there's been so much dominance from these particularly 3 players. But let's say you get rid of those players, who's number 1? If Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, once they retire, once they're off of the scene, who's number 1? Is it Tsitsipas? Is it Medvedev? Is it Zverev? Is it Rublev? Is it Alcaraz? Is it any of these guys?
Right.
And so for me, I view it as like a tournament to decide who's going to be the year-end number 1. Because for them, the year-end number 1 doesn't matter as much. It's just who did best that year.
Right.
Hitting that number 1 spot, regardless of what time of the year that is I think more important. Somebody could be, look at a guy like Murray. He was number 1 for a little bit. Did he finish year at number 1? I'm not sure. But like he hit the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing to really look at. But this tournament is a way to really decide who's going to finish year at number 1. Because we had 3 potential year number 1s from this tournament.
We did.
And I'm sure back, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm sure, at some point in the last even in the last era of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, there was space for one player to overtake another player or something like that, depending how they perform in this tournament. And I think it's a little bit, I don't want to say fair, but it makes sense that, okay, if we're going to decide who's going to be if this tournament is going to decide who's going to be year number 1, what better group of people to put up there instead of a draw of 128 or 256, I don't know what the Grand Slams are.
I think it's 128, yeah.
128. Instead of putting that up and deciding that as who's going to be year number 1, let's get the best 8 people in the world and see how the top guys perform against the top guys.
Yeah.
And for me, this seems like a tournament of, this is more of a tournament of who's gonna be year end number 1. Because even though it seems unfair that they could win one match and get 250 points rather than winning an entire, let's say, 250,
right,
or getting to the semis of a 500 or like whatever.
Yeah.
If you're constantly pairing them against the other top players in the world, and it becomes that difficult, that's what really sets apart, world number 1 from world number 2 from world number 3. Because you could be, and especially in this day and age where margins are so fine, you have you could have world number 1 play against world number 8, and you're thinking, oh, this is, the best player in the world versus the 8th best player in the world. But if you consider this, it comes down to who is able to execute and perform on that particular day, and it creates a little bit of variance in that, when you do it that way, it makes for an extremely high, it creates a pretty high variant outcome on what it is. Because each match, it's not like they're playing the first round of U.S. Open, Djokovic playing against, I don't know, some scrubs qualifier. No, every single match is against the top 8 player in the world. And it doesn't matter if you're Djokovic, or if you're Nadal, or if you're Federer, or if you're any of the other players. Just imagine being in the shoes of Djokovic and playing against Ruud. We understand that Djokovic is really good.
Yeah.
We understand that he's one of the best players in the world, but take that part aside and focus on the fact that you have to play against the 3rd best player in the world, regardless who you are, because these guys don't have magic powers. These are humans at the end of the day. They have nerves, and we've seen that. Djokovic kind of, for lack of a better word, fucked up that match against Medvedev. Because he was just so nervous, because the pressure got to him.
Right.
Even though he's the best player in the world, and one of the greatest players in history, he's still subject to human emotions.
Yeah.
And no matter who you are, it's always tough against going against the 3rd best in the world. In no matter what competition you're playing in, that's my take on this tournament. That I brought it up because my friend said it's like, oh, it's a little bit unfair that they get 250 points just like straight up. But here's the thing: if they have like maybe a 250, 500, 750 point advantage on the next
calendar year.
Oh, yeah, on the next calendar year, that if they don't make it, then they lose those points.
Right.
So they do have a bit of a head start going into the next year. In the point of in the same reference as one tournament, as let's say a 250. But a 250 final is essentially the top 8 players in the world.
Right.
Give and take, obviously it depends on circumstance, but you can, let's say you have Djokovic and Ruud playing in the same 250, odds are they're going to play in the finals. And so let's skip all the other bullshit and let's get straight to the point. This is the finals. This is the match that's worth 250 points. So that's how I look at it. I don't know. Is it fair? I don't know. Is it entertaining? Definitely. Does it make sense? Yeah, it does. But those are my final thoughts. Any final thoughts from you?
I mean, you pretty much summed it up. I mean, it's. I mean, I think it's great that they have these kind of, the ATP Finals, or I like to call it World Tour Finals, because I think it's a better title. Like, it just shows those top 8 players are always so consistent, and being able to qualify for these types of this tournament anyways. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good to see, because we see so many players over the calendar year play, but the top 8 are what matters, I think. So I think it's fine. I don't think it's unfair, but they worked hard to earn those spots. So yeah, I think that's so. I think that's what matters, is they earned it. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I also like the different format. Even it's not single elimination.
Yeah.
It is round robin.
Round robin. Yeah,
Every other
exactly.
tournament on tour is single elimination. You lose, you're out.
Yeah, you're out.
This is the
yeah.
only tournament where you could win. You could lose a match and still win the
and
tournament.
still potentially get through it. Yeah.
I like Laver Cup for the same reason as well.
Yeah.
It's just that, it's people may say it's not as serious as the rest of the tour,
Right.
but on the other hand, they are playing for a lot of money. They're not playing for points, but they are playing for a lot of money. And it's a different format. I think tennis really needs a new format.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need a new format, but it's entertaining to see new formats.
Right,
You even
sure.
see like Ultimate Tennis Showdown.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what they were doing during COVID?
Yeah.
Like playing essentially 4 quarters.
Yeah.
4 timed quarters. Where should that be the status quo? No. But as entertaining as fans, yes. And they're doing more with like Davis Cup. Then they have the World League Cup. Then they have the Hopman Cup, and then, they're constantly introducing new formats into it.
Let's see what.
Ruud is giving his.
This year it's been nothing but remarkable. Really, really impressive. So congratulations again for showing everyone you're still up there, still finishing off this year in a great way. So yeah, congrats again, guys.
Ho fatto le congratulazioni ovviamente prima di tutto a Novak, capendo quello che ha dovuto passare durante quest'anno e quanto veramente il lavoro è stato importante per tornare al top e tornare chiaramente qui vincitore.
Because I'm going to cut it out.
And to my own team, another year has passed on the ATP Tour, and thank you to everyone who helps me, motivates me and pushes me every day. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. All my coaches, my fitness coach, physios, and everyone involved. It's been a year of many highs, really big highs, and of course some lows, like always. But thank you, and I look forward for the next season already.
Un altro anno è passato e ringrazio ovviamente il mio team, senza di voi niente sarebbe possibile. Ci sono stati tanti momenti belli, esaltanti, alcuni ovviamente meno buoni, però l'anno è stato fantastico e quindi vi ringrazio perché senza di voi questo non sarebbe possibile.
And thank you to all the sponsors of this event, especially Nitto. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. It's one of the most exciting tournaments to play. To be able to finish there in this way is a great experience, great feeling, no matter the result you get here in this tournament. So you're doing a great job. I hope you enjoy the tennis and that you will stay as a sponsor for many years to come. So thank you. Arigato.
Ho ringraziato lo sponsor principale e tutti gli sponsor, specialmente Nitto che permette questo torneo di essere così grandioso e spera che ovviamente si sia divertito molto e continuerà a sponsorizzare questo grandissimo evento.
Thank you to ball kids, line umpires, everyone involved behind the scenes as well, all the volunteers helping get this tournament going. It's not possible, you make us players feel like great kings, and that's a very nice feeling, obviously. And
lack of emotion.
there are so many involved, so I cannot name all.
Lack of character,
especially to the ball kids, they're doing a great
There's
job.
nothing bad about it.
I'm
just
had
saying,
a great
like,
time playing here, and
Show a little bit of emotion.
It's
yeah,
very
it
like
motivates me to try to come back, of course.
straight line.
Ringrazio a tutti ovviamente Casper, da veramente chi fa sì che questo torneo possa realizzarsi, soprattutto anche quelli che sono in campo, quindi i giudici di linea, soprattutto i raccattapalle. Ci fate sentire dei re, ha detto qui a Torino, questo mi motiva ancora di più per tornare l'anno prossimo e cercare di vincere questo torneo.
And as another
Nitto is
tennis
driven
has
to
passed by, I
provide
think
highest
it's,
quality car
nice to
and
say
truck
thanks
tires
to all
for every
tennis fans
vehicle
around
on
the
the
world,
road.
wherever you are,
Choose the
wherever you're
tire
tuning
that
in from,
drives you.
and especially
Fucking tire company is sponsoring this
Turin, in
tournament.
Italy, the atmosphere is great, and to play in front of fans is a great feeling. That's what's very giving for all players. So thank you. I hope we all put on a good show this year, and I hope the wait won't be too long for everyone until we are back in Australia for next year.
Ha ringraziato.
Fun fact, Nitto is a Japanese company. So I'm sorry for my remarks if they were offensive. I still stand by them. That it's a fucking tire company that's sponsoring this company.
It's okay. I don't...
Lastly, but not least, to my beautiful girlfriend Maria.
Maria.
How old is Casper Ruud? 23. You got it. Okay. Fuck, he's younger
Thank
than me.
you for all the hours, the days you are waiting, letting me do whatever I
Congrats.
do and what I love to do. You know, it's not possible without a close partner. So thank you for
Arctic.
staying with me, patiently
Yonex.
waiting all the year, and I look forward to being a normal person for some weeks until I have to go to Australia again and spend some time with you.
Penso abbiate capito che ha ringraziato la sua fidanzata perché ovviamente per tutte le ore che lo deve aspettare, che deve pazientemente aspettare che lui faccia tutti gli allenamenti, e dice in queste settimane finalmente forse potrò essere una persona normale e stare più con te che fare il mio lavoro fino a quando dovrò ricominciare a fare ovviamente quello che amo fare, cioè allenarmi e giocare a tennis.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and
the
gentlemen.
2022 Nitto ATP Finals
Nitto.
champion.
Sorry. Nitto.
Borak Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic. Do you go Nitto or do you go Nitto? That's the main question. We should have been asking this entire time. Nitto versus Nitto. If you guys don't know, Kenji is from the East. Born, not raised. Nobody's clapping. There wasn't a year.
Get ready to make his comments. Don't forget TC Live to follow.
I want to
the
say
ceremony
the
as
crowd was rooting for Ruud.
Borak and Steve Weissman wrap up this championship Sunday.
It's probably gonna do it in Italian. Let's watch it.
Novak, in your eyes, happiness, fun. I mean, you finally got your sixth one here. So incredible record as you made so many. Just congratulations and tell us how happy you are right now.
Grazie mille.
Buonasera a tutti, inizio a parlare in inglese e dopo in italiano.
Italiano, Che posso fare?
I would like to return the favor and congratulate Casper and his team.
What a gentleman.
Tough luck today, obviously. I know how hard you're working, and your working ethics are inspirational to myself and a lot of players around the world. You've had a fantastic year. Congrats to your team.
Amazing year.
You guys are a great team. Very nice people. Always respectful towards everyone, my team, myself. So I have only nice things to tell you about you and your team and your family. And congrats also for this year. You know, I know that probably is somewhere deep inside you. You hope that you could win, one of the three titles where you competed in the finals. But playing two Grand Slam finals and today at the biggest tournament in ATP Tour is something that is really, really impressive. And you're still young, you still have time. And I'm sure that you're going to get your hands on big trophies very soon. Congrats.
US Open Finals confirmed. Wimbledon, second round.
Si è ovviamente congratulato con Casper e soprattutto fatto le
French
congratulazioni
Open
come lui e il suo team sono veramente rispettosi e sono delle persone fantastiche. e quindi apprezzo moltissimo ovviamente il loro lavoro e il lavoro di Casper che ha fatto durante quest'anno. Tra l'altro è riuscito per ben diverse volte, 3 volte ad arrivare in grandi finali e gli ha chiaramente augurato che, essendo giovane, nei prossimi anni sicuramente riuscirà ad alzare i grandi trofei che quest'anno purtroppo non è riuscito a fare.
Speaking of being young, I would like to thank my family and my team for being here with me, not just today, but throughout the entire journey of my career. My parents, my brothers are not here, but they're back home watching. I want to thank all of them and all of you guys for going through some tough times, you know, particularly this year with me, believing in me, staying patient, giving me the necessary strength and support, shoulder to lean on, shoulder to cry on. It's been a roller coaster year, really, something I've never experienced ever before in my life, and only we know what we've been through. So I want you to know that I really appreciate you staying. This trophy is equally yours as it's mine. Thank you very much, guys.
Ha ringraziato tutti quelli che l'hanno supportato durante un anno molto difficile, come tutti sappiamo. Siete stati per me la spalla dove piangere e quindi l'orecchio per ascoltare i momenti difficili, e veramente vi ho apprezzato tantissimo il fatto che voi siete stati con me, avete creduto in me, e quindi questo trofeo è tanto mio quanto vostro.
So Ruud made it to French Open final, US Open final, in this final. So I think that's what Djokovic meant by three major finals.
He reminded me, thank you for reminding me who to thank as well. I don't want to repeat myself, but you know, Casper is very detailed and very thorough with his preparation. Casper, I say, also for the tennis, but also for speeches. Well done. It's difficult to surpass you now. I would like to thank, of course, the main sponsor Nitto and all the organization ATP Tour for putting together, probably the best ATP event that we have on ATP Tour. Of course, best 8 players in the world coming together in a unique format, playing in the 2 groups. It's always pleasure, and it's of course a huge honor to be part of the tournament. It means that you have done something good throughout the season of 11 months. Very, very long season we have in our sport, but we cannot complain. Of course, we have a fantastic global sport that is popular and watched around the world. So, you know, I see how many people are coming here to watch live, but also, you know, audience around the world, and that obviously contributes in a very positive way to not just players, but the whole tennis ecosystem. So hopefully the tennis can grow with this event, and then the tour can become even stronger. So thank you for being part of it and supporting.
Ha detto a Casper ovviamente che aveva ringraziato molti e forse quasi tutti, ed è stato molto dettagliato, quindi forse non riusciva a fare meglio, ma ha ringraziato chiaramente Nitto e ovviamente l'ATP per fare questo evento, l'evento forse più bello al mondo, perché chiaramente include i migliori 8 giocatori al mondo tutti in una settimana, con questi round robin dove bisogna chiaramente affrontarsi e battersi gli uni contro gli altri, chiaramente in uno sport globale, quindi uno sport mondiale che speriamo cresca sempre continuativamente, grazie ovviamente agli sponsor e all'organizzazione.
Ok, iniziamo adesso in italiano un po'.
Djokovic speaking Italian.
Ok. Non parlo così lungo, però dai,
Devo anche tradurre in inglese.
Ah sì?
Sì.
Vabbè, ok, proviamo. Buonasera, grazie mille per il vostro supporto stasera, a me, a Casper, ovviamente a questo torneo. Siete meravigliosi, grazie mille, grazie. L'anno scorso era il primo anno del torneo e era veramente un grande successo. Quest'anno anche di più, abbiamo un altri 3 anni, se non sbaglio, qui a Torino. Io personalmente sono sempre
molto contento di ritornare in Italia, un paese che è stata sempre nella mia vita, nella mia carriera, vicino al mio cuore. Sì, molto. Ok. Thank you all the fans, of course, for coming here out and here in Turin where really you are so passionate, and this is the second year. Last year was already a success. This year it's even been better and better, and so thank you for coming out and sì, voglio, ok, così possiamo spendere tutta la notte, va. No, sei molto bravo, però dico in generale, cioè, tradurre a due lingue più, parliamo un po' tedesco anche. No, voglio dire,
Che cazzo fai?
sempre grazie, perché ci sono tanti bambini, tanti giovani, e con i miei bambini qui, io sono giovane genitore, giovane papà, e sempre mi dà queste bellissime sensazioni vedere tanti giovani. Prendete la racchetta in mano, credo che siete ispirati con questa settimana. Ci vediamo presto, grazie Torino, grazie Italia. Grazie.
And now, a special bottle of Asti will be presented to the champion and the runner-up.
So, if you were to wrap up the entire ATP season in a few sentences, how'd you wrap it up?
Few sentences. The whole season.
The whole season. Who stood out? Who underperformed? What do you think about the tour? Altogether as well. Not only like individual players, but also looking at everything as like a whole field. Moving forward, what's your take on it?
I have to think about this one. Well, first off, this year alone, Roger retiring at, the Laver Cup was definitely really emotional. I think.
I cried.
I think for a lot of players too.
I'm pretty sure anybody who follows tennis seriously cried.
They
during
definitely
that
cried. That was probably the most
It's a big part.
important moment of this year. But I think overall, we've seen players like Ruud, Alcaraz, some of the younger players really stepping up to the plate and playing great tennis. Next gen. So, now that Federer's retired,
Everything revolves around.
yeah, I know. Well, I'm thinking, definitely focusing on those next gen players throughout the next few years or more decades. And just seeing how they perform, I think, But I think this is a great year overall. Great tennis. Not much else to say, but that's what I think. But Federer for sure. It's hard to replay that moment, but
Asking the same question.
What do you think about the year overall?
I think this is a really good year for tennis. I think it made a lot of breakthroughs in more mainstream media. Not to mention, how the year started off with Djokovic being rejected from entering Australia. That hit headlines on its own.
Yeah.
But, the rest of the season, I think we are about to enter a season where the competition has never been so high. It used to be, a few beasts going against, really good players. And now it's becoming just like beasts coming after beasts. Like the level is so high right now, and it is so fine margins we're playing with that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 4 different Grand Slam champions next year going into it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of opportunity for so many players to break through. Just to mention a couple, there's Zheng Jishen from China. He's the first Chinese man to break through the top 100. I covered him a little bit during the U.S. Open when he was still like 140, something like that. I have a friend, Alex Kovacevic. He's about 130 right now. Him breaking through the top 100, definitely achievable. Another guy that I've met, Sebastian Offner. He's been injured for the last, I would say, almost a year. That he peaked at like 160. For him to get to the top 100 is also very achievable. And like I think you're gonna even Ruud also winning Paris Masters. You know, he was already, you know, towards the top.
Right.
He wasn't top 8, but I think he like right now he's probably like top 10 or like maybe 10, top 15 for sure.
Yeah.
After that win, that I think we're going to see a lot more players breaking through and winning these big championships.
Yeah.
I think the Grand Slams are still going to be in contention between guys like Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Zverev when he comes back on tour. Rublev, Felix, Ruud, literally all the guys who played in this tournament are all contenders for every single Grand Slam. But, you know, to look outside of that, I mean, the level is just so high that, you know, if the world number 1 or anybody who's in the top 10 playing against somebody who's, let's say, 50 in the world a few years ago, there would be a decent discrepancy in their level of play. That I think now, if a top 10 player were to go against somebody who's 50 in the world, it's going to be much, much closer. That's my take on it. And I think you're going to see a lot of standout players this year just because the level is just so freaking high across the entire tour. Even on a juniors level, I remember when I was a junior, the level was, you know, a certain amount, and then I have a few juniors that I do coach that are like 14, 15, 16 years old, and I go to their tournaments once in a while, and I'm like, wow, the level of competition even on that level is so much higher than what I remember it to be. And I think this is only going to cascade into the Pro Tour, because these are the same players who were juniors only a few years ago. And the level of play is just gonna get higher and higher and higher as the years goes on. The way people are training, the way people are, you know, improving their fitness, the way they're dieting. There's so much information out there that there's no excuse to not have access to the top performance information, and I think everybody has access to it now. And so you're going to see a huge jump in the level of play. It's not going to be the same amount of dominance that we have seen, because we're also comparing this to the literal GOATs of the sport. And so anything that you may say in the last 15 years, all the things that we are following in the last 15 years are going to change just because the 3 GOATs are leaving the sport, which you can't compare, because these are literally the greatest of all time. You cannot compare whatever they did to the rest of the tour, because what they did is something truly special. And so looking forward, you know, everything that everybody's doing is going to be very special. But on top of that, I think we're looking forward to a phenomenal season of tennis going into 2023. So to close it off, thank you for tuning in to the Tipsy Tennis podcast. And if you enjoyed this, we will definitely be doing something more in the future for all of the major events. Definitely all the Grand Slam finals, ATP World Tour finals, and then maybe some Masters 1000s finals thrown in there once in a while. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe, all that bullshit to help me, grow my channel. But on top of that, if you enjoyed it, the biggest thing that you guys can do for me back at home is, partake in this game, because this has been a blast.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been something that we've been doing for years, probably since 2016, 2017, something like that.
Yeah.
And even for Australian Open finals, that's like held at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3:30.
We're here.
We're here. Yep.
So, until then,
Stay tipsy.
stay tipsy.